Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about the creative tools and services that I use for creating t-shirt designs and mock-ups and banner images for my website. Anything that I need for graphic design related work, I'm going to go over of how I achieve that and how you can do the same. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so I'm going to talk about the creative tools that I use and how I'm able to get my t-shirt designs done, my banners and things for my website, basically all of the creative things that I use in order to run my business and to launch it. So the very first thing that I use, and this is how I create the t-shirt designs themselves, is Adobe Illustrator. Now I know when people hear the Adobe products, they think that it's really expensive, but it is the highest quality and kind of the industry standard, especially if you have any interest in graphic design. It's just what I would recommend if you can afford it and if you can use it. So I know Adobe Illustrator, I think it costs about $20 per month. I'm using a student license still from when I was a student, so it's a little bit cheaper for me. I pay for the whole Creative Cloud, so I have like Illustrator, Photoshop, everything that comes with the Adobe package. But if you're just going to be doing the print on demand and the t-shirt stuff, I would recommend that you get Adobe Illustrator. And basically what Adobe Illustrator is for is it's primarily used for vector images. So if you don't know what a vector image is, it basically allows you to create a design and scale it to whatever size that you need. So it's perfect for basically for what we need for print on demand, so for creating t-shirt designs. I've found it to be pretty easy to use. I've had to definitely watch some tutorials on how to kind of learn Adobe Illustrator, but if you're going to be doing t-shirt designs, I would recommend Illustrator over like Photoshop or some of the other Adobe products. And then I also have a couple free alternatives for you guys if you don't want to pay for the Illustrator, how you can still use and work with vector images without having to pay for the fee of Illustrator. So the first one that I would recommend that I briefly used, but I know that it's highly recommended and it is a professional tool, is Inkscape. So Inkscape also allows you to work with vector graphics, and you should be able to get the same results with Inkscape as Adobe Illustrator. For me, I like to learn on kind of the paid products if I can't afford it, especially on Illustrator, because I'm interested in kind of the graphic design feature. I use it professionally for work, so it just makes sense for me to be able to learn that kind of stuff because in the professional working environment, it's a skill that's nice to have. So that's why I chose Illustrator. But Inkscape should be able to get the job done. It's a free download. Maybe it's open source, I'm not really sure, but I have downloaded it. There's a pretty good community around it if you have questions, you need tutorials and stuff like that. And then another one would be GIMP. I think GIMP is a little bit less ideal for vector images. I think this is kind of an all-around program that you can use for photos and vectors and all sorts of graphics. So just a couple alternatives that you can think about. But yeah, the first creative tool you're going to need is something that you can work with graphics and images so that you're able to create your design. So this is what I use to actually make the t-shirt designs themselves. Okay guys, so the next thing you're going to need now that you have the vector software is you're going to need images that you can either download or that you can get to create the designs themselves. So the service that I use is FreePick. So the vector, they have a lot of free vectors that you can use, but you have to attribute, and you're gonna have to look at the licensing for each of these images and vector graphics that you're going to be using, because there's definitely gray lines of what you're allowed to do. Like I believe with FreePick, you're not allowed to use graphics from here as the main part of your design. You may have to, like I pay for a premium account with FreePick so that I'm able to use some of the stuff a little bit more freely. But FreePick is where I kind of get inspiration from, find vector graphics, and I'm able to use them. So if you just go under vectors, they probably have millions, if not hundreds of thousands of choices. But if you don't want to pay for kind of the premium version or pay for the licenses that come with this, you can still look through here, and then you can use a service like Fiverr or Upwork to basically find a contractor, find a graphic designer that can make you this kind of stuff that you can actually use freely to print on demand and to actually sell. So I use FreePick to either get inspiration from, to kind of see what's popular, if I can get a license that allows me to actually put it on a t-shirt and use it, then I can do that. But please just be careful with like the terms of use and the licensing, because you don't want to get caught using something and selling something that you don't have the actual intellectual property or the copyrights for. So if you do find something off here or have an idea of a design, you can go over to Fiverr and you can actually get people to make graphics and design if you click that link. So you can do logos, packaging. They might even have a t-shirt specific thing here. I usually just use the search feature. So t-shirts and merchandise. So they have a category specifically for that. So I don't want to sign in right now. If you go to t-shirts and merchandise, so let's see, so create custom amazing t-shirts design starting at $5. So I think with Fiverr you're not going to get the best quality for $5, but for maybe $50, I'm sure you could get a few really high quality designs that you can launch your store with. So same thing for Upwork. Upwork is a little bit more professional, I would say. You're going to get maybe a little bit less for your money, because you're going to get more professional people that are looking to be freelancers, whereas Fiverr is not necessarily going to be a professional, maybe just somebody that's good at doing it, but for the amount of money, it's not a huge investment to kind of go in there. They have tons of reviews. So if you look at like this first listing, has over 1,000 reviews, 4.9 stars, starting at $5. Why not throw $5 to $10 in and see if you can get a really good t-shirt design out of it? Because at the end of the day, if it costs you $10 to get a design off of Fiverr, and you sell like 3 or 4 of those, you're already going to make your money back. So if you really take the time to do the research and make sure that you get good designs, paying for a good design from a graphic designer on Fiverr or Upwork, you're going to make your money back. Just don't be making terrible designs and terrible ideas. Make sure you back it by competitive research and knowing that the design that you come out with is actually going to make sales. Okay guys, so the next tool that I really recommend that you get is called Canva. So if you go to canva.com, it might look a little bit different because I'm already signed up here, but basically I use Canva to create all of the graphics for the website. I've used it to create text-based t-shirt designs. I've used it to create Facebook ads, Instagram posts, basically anything that requires you to size something correctly, I use Canva for. So just to give you an example, so if you go under, like, I'm editing my homepage theme and I need, for this image, I need a 2000 by 800 pixel photo or graphic. So how am I going to do that? So if I go over here, I can, to Canva, I'll use custom dimensions and I can basically type in my pixels. So I can say 2000 by 800 pixels, and then I can go and design that. That way I know it's the perfect size in my images and everything's not going to get distorted. I know that I'm using the correct size graphics. So you can also do like Instagram posts where they have a ton of templates, and that way you know that your Instagram post is perfectly square, so you're not cutting anything off when you go to post it. You can do flyers and logos, although you have to be careful with the logo because you're technically, there's a lot of licensing things about this, like there was with FreePic, because they have a lot of like designs and just I'm not sure what you call it, but pictures and illustrations that you can use, but you have to be careful about how you use them on websites and stuff that you're selling. But so you can see social media posts that you can create, different documents, you can create blogging and ebooks and all sorts of web banners, headers for your emails. So that's another thing that I use Canva for. If I'm going to create an email for like a MailChimp email to go out to my email list, I'll basically create all of the graphics within Canva. And the great thing about Canva, unlike Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, it's very user friendly. It's a drag and drop, like uploading photos. There's not a huge learning curve to do it, and it's basically for people that aren't graphic designers to be able to do graphic design. So I would definitely recommend that you get Canva. I know if you can look over in the left column, Explore Canva 2.0, I know they've made some pretty big updates to it lately. I pay for a premium version. The premium version costs, I think, $12.95 per month in order to use it. And the main reason that I do it is because it allows you to download a transparent background, which has been useful for me. But you can definitely just use this for free to get started, kind of play around with it. If anything, it really allows you to create social media posts and all your banners for your website completely free. and that way you know that you're using the right sized graphics for everything that you do, and it makes it look really professional when everything's sized correctly so that it's not distorted and you know, it looks bad for your website when, you know, things are blurry and they don't look like they're sized correctly. Okay guys, so the next creative tool that you're probably going to need is going to be some stock photos. So I've got a couple of basically websites that I use for free stock photos because I try to get away from stock photography as quickly as possible, because I think branded images and images that are taken, you know, with your own products and by you are going to be a lot more effective for your website and able to kind of fill out, you know, the brand image that you want to give to your customers. But stock photos are kind of necessary to get going, and everybody uses them. So Pexels is probably my favorite stock photography website. I think there's something modern and available for anybody in any kind of brand that you're going into. Their search feature is actually, you know, it works really well if you're looking for something specific. Give it a shot, and I think you'll find at least a few assets that you can use, you know, for banners and just to get going off the bat. They use like a Creative Commons free license, so I don't believe that you have to give attribution to any of the photos that you take from here. But as all the other services, just, you know, double check the license on each photo and make sure that you know what you're using and that you're able to use it in the way that you are taking it for. And then another service besides Pexels for free stock photos is Burst. So if you go to burst.shopify.com, they also have a lot of great images, and you can actually access, I don't know if they have all of these images accessed within Shopify's themes, but if you go into your themes and you go to anything where you can upload an image and you go to the Explore free images, all of these images that get populated are actually just from burst.shopify. So I like to look at them through here because it just allows me to see them full view and kind of use the search feature a little bit better and see more. But essentially the Burst website or URL right here is the same as what you're able to get within the theme customization. So yeah, so I use free stock photos to kind of launch any kind of store just for banners and to get some content. But I always try to move into my own photography and branded imagery as quickly as possible, because I think that you know, customers can kind of sense stock photos, and you're going to be able to create a better image for your website and for your brand if you're able to take product shots and things that are more on brand for you. Okay, so the last tool that I use as far as my creative tools and assets is called Placeit. So if you go to placeit.net, exactly how I'm saying it, so you can see the logo right here, Placeit. Basically this is a mockup generator, and it can do designs, logos, and videos, and do mockups on all sorts of you know, different products. Basically, I mainly use it just for t-shirts and hoodies, and there's like what, 4,000 almost mockups for apparel. So if you scroll down, you can kind of look at what they have to offer. So you basically upload the product image that you have. So whatever your product that you have, whatever like design that you have already created in a file, you just upload that file and it goes on to these designs. So then you kind of have you know, model shots for your website, for social media, because one thing that you're going to really want for launching and for kind of scaling your website and your e-commerce store is social proof and pictures with people in them wearing your clothes. But you know, how can you do that if you don't have, you know, with print on demand, you're not going to have inventory really to scale. You're not going to be able to like pay for all these crazy photo shoots. So essentially with Placeit, it allows you to jump over that hump pretty quickly and allows you to get some really good looking content. So it used to be a lot more expensive. So when I first started using Placeit, it was like $8 just to use one image. So say I wanted like this picture right here, it would cost me $8 to download it with one design. It's not like I could, you know, download it once and put all different designs. It was one image on a t-shirt and I could download it for $8. Now they do a $29 unlimited subscription. So for $29 a month, I believe you have to sign up for 3 months minimum, so basically $90. But for over 3 months, you get unlimited amount of downloads. So you can download and use as many of these assets as you want. And I think that it's probably, if you have the money, the best tool and asset that you can buy for your brand, because it gives you just so much more credibility having your designs on people and allowing you to brand your website and your products with people actually wearing your stuff. So if you kind of scroll through, they have everything from, you know, product videos like this. They have all sorts of kind of diverse people and different designs like tank tops. They have like these flat lays where they kind of match your products up with outfits. They have ones on like a transparent background, so you can kind of throw it against any background that you want. Here's an example of like a coffee mug design. I mainly use it for apparel. Like I think this is another video right here. So just a lot of really great assets that you can use for Facebook ads, for your social media, just to put on your website as kind of like the main banner images for collections. So unless you're like a photographer and you're going to be having a lot of inventory and samples where you can, you know, schedule your own photo shoots, a lot of these pictures are pretty you know, minimal, where you can apply them to almost any brand and you'll be able to kind of get away with it. So I would highly recommend that you go on Placeit, just pay for like the whatever the minimum subscription you can is, and get as many assets as you can to be able to use, because you know this kind of stuff gives you stuff that you can post on social media right away. Like you'll never run out of content. And I think that you'll see a really big difference having product images like this. And I think that a lot of people don't know about this service yet. I think it's still kind of under the radar. I do see brands, because I have an eye for it, I see brands that use some of these photos, but for the most part it's pretty untapped, and I don't think that the general public really, you know, realizes that this kind of service is out there. So the social proof aspect of it is definitely still there. I think it'll give you a huge leg up on your competition if you make the decision to pay for it and use it. I've used it, and it's very easy to upload the image and to place it you know, on the product, and I've had great success with it in the past, and I'm definitely going to be signing up and using this for this new launch as well. So definitely recommend it. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully the tools and services that I used will help you kind of in your graphic design work and launch your website, come up with product ideas, and just get all of your graphic design done a little bit easier. If this video was of any help for you, if you could drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.